Well, good afternoon and thanks so much for joining us. We want to take you to special coverage of the funeral for fallen CCPD officer Alan McCollum. Chris 6 News anchor Paulo Salazar has been in contact with some of the family members this week, and he is live this afternoon at Church Unlimited, where Officer McCollum's family and friends have gathered to pay their respects. Good afternoon, Paulo.
Good afternoon, Mike, and good afternoon to all of you at home. Community is mourning today as one of their own is laid to rest. Now, I'm outside Church Unlimited, where thousands of people have come to pay their respects. We've had officers from all sorts of agencies as far as Louisiana and all the way up north. Now, it was a somber scene as the family and friends have made their way in. But as the family sat, I was questioned to come over and speak to some of the family members, where they let me know the daughters wanted to say a few words about a person they called Daddy.
I just want them to know he was a wonderful man. Honestly, like every day, like no matter the weather or the setting, or he just always had that smirk on his face, that little smile that would never go away. He never had a frown, he never got mad. He was just a wonderful man. I was very grateful for his life and his family.
I just want everyone to know how humble he was and how loving he was. And like Lily said, it didn't matter the day or the time. He always had that little smirk, and he just made everything better.
And 46-year-old Alan McCollum was killed in the line of duty Friday night on South Padre Island Drive. Now, he was helping another officer conduct a traffic stop on a vehicle that was racing in the westbound lane of SPID. They were stopped over the Carroll Lane overpass when a car driven by a drunk driver barreled into the officers, McCollum taking the brunt of the hit. Corpus Christi police say that the driver who hit McCollum and another was intoxicated and driving with a suspended license. Officer McCollum was a member of the Honor Guard and SWAT team. And memorial services for Officer McCollum began here at Church Unlimited last night, and we're told that there were well over 3,000 people in attendance, and we're told that the church holds 5,000 people, so you could just imagine the crowd that came to pay their respects. Now, the viewing of Officer McCollum was open to the public for just a few hours before last night's private visitation service, and we caught up with several of McCollum's family and friends as they made their way into the church to pay their respects. And we spoke with one woman who said she met McCollum while she was in Citizens Police Control, and we also spoke with a neighbor.
He just touched me in my heart the couple of times that I met him, and it's my honor to come and give my piece to him, and I know he's going to heaven.
Officer McCollum was one of our neighbors, and got to meet him, know him, became friends, and so good person, you know. So we spent some time together at his house. My daughter would go visit his daughter, and they would play together. She would come over to our home.
And flags throughout Corpus Christi have been flying at half-staff this week in honor of Officer McCollum. And it was at the request of Mayor Joe McComb. He submitted the request Saturday night to Representative Todd Hunter. And on Sunday morning, Governor Greg Abbott approved that the city's request to fly its flag at half-staff in honor of the 7-year police veteran. Now, flags will continue to fly at half-staff until tomorrow at sunset. In addition to the flags lowering, Mayor McComb also requested that Harbor Bridge be lit in blue in honor of Officer McCollum in his memory. Those lights will remain blue until tomorrow night. Now, news of McCollum's death was far-reaching. Yesterday, the New York Yankees baseball team sent a floral arrangement to the police department, and we contacted the team's public relations department, who told us that this is something they do for all officers across the country who have fallen. And they noted that the attached wreath simply stated the team was praying for the entire family and the Corpus Christi Police Department. And there has been an outpouring of support for McCollum and the family members, and it's really been overwhelming. The Corpus Christi Police Department said in last week that they've received an overwhelming amount of support from the entire community, as well as other law enforcement agencies, and that was evident today. Now, outside police headquarters is a parked police cruiser, which the department placed a floral wreath on its bumper. Now, as soon as that memorial was set up, people began showing up, leaving bouquets of flowers and mementos to show the community's love. Now, one person even left a San Francisco 49ers hat, a team Officer McCollum supported, as well as other items, now including a t-shirt and several pictures. And then on Monday, there was well over 100 people took part in a 1-mile memorial run, and I was fortunate enough to be there. Alan, his wife, and his daughters were both there. They're all avid runners, and despite the loss of her husband, Michelle led that pack. They ran to remember the man that she loved. Michelle told us that this was the perfect memorial because her husband loved being outdoors. The run was short, but the impact Alan left on so many lives on. And Chris Six spoke exclusively with Michelle, Alan's wife, and she told me about the support that she's been getting and how she was able to be so composed, really. We were all amazed on how composed she was that night, and she just said it's the outpouring of support from the community, her family members reaching out, all the meals that people have dropped off so she wouldn't have to cook. She went on to tell me that there have been a lot of sleepless nights, however, leading up into this point, and as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot more sleepless nights as Alan's body is laid to rest. She did want to thank everyone for their prayers and thank everyone for their well wishes and all the meals. She described her husband as a caring and compassionate man. And here's a little bit of what she told me this past Monday night.
He was larger than life. He was a very quiet professional, but when he spoke volumes. He was well admired. I just want his legacy to be how much he was adored and loved because of his personality and his love for his community.
And in addition to serving Corpus Christi Police Department, McCollum also served his country. He joined the U.S. Army in 1991 and served for 21 years as a parachute rigger. Now, McCollum received a Bronze Star Medal for heroic achievement during his time in the Army. His wife, Michelle, also served, and they're big supporters of the military. Michelle eventually opened a business called Layla's Crepes. In June of 2018, Chris 6 News visited the McCollum's food truck and talked about their participation in the Thank a Veteran program, which offers discounts to veterans. And here's what Alan had to say.
I think it's very important to honor our veterans any way that we can.
And Chris 6 is going to be out here giving you coverage live, both on Facebook, and you can catch more coverage tonight on Chris 6 News at 5 and at 10. It's been a somber day today as officers, friends, and family have come to pay their respects for Corpus Christi police officer Alan McCollum, who lost his life this past Friday. He will be honored and he will be loved. Well, much more coverage coming to you. I'm Paulo Salazar, live outside of Church Unlimited for Chris 6 News.
All right, Paulo, thanks for the update. And if you'll stay with us, we're going to come back with more news right after this.
Let's just put it this way. Alan could handle the situation. No matter what he was facing, he was the guy for the hour.